Welcome to Hope in the Face of Cancer, where we share real stories of courageous people and their cancer journey. Today's guest brings strength, insight, and a vibrant sense of self to her story. When Shayla Martin was diagnosed with breast cancer at 39, it was one of the hardest moments of her life. It was overwhelming, painful, and nothing could have fully prepared her for it. But over time, Shayla found her way through. She faced the experience head on. She began to do the deeper work of healing, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. Shayla is a former collegiate runner who spent much of her career in hospitality and tech sales, but today she serves as a chief wellness officer and certified meditation practitioner, supporting others on their own paths of healing and transformation. Through one-on-one coaching and sound meditations, she creates spaces for people to reconnect with themselves and their well-being. She lives in New York City and continues to speak openly about healing and what it means to move forward after something life-changing. Her journey goes well beyond her diagnosis. It's about rediscovering your worth, allowing joy to exist alongside pain, and choosing to live with intention, even in the face of the unknown. Shayla, thank you so much for joining us today on our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited to have this conversation.
Awesome. I know our audience is going to love your story, and it's fun. It's got some fun. It's got some drama. It's got even has some pesky little critters in it. So we'll get there. All sorts of wonderful things we'll talk about today.
So many things.
I would love to just start out by kind of what you're doing today, because you had a career that was kind of tech and hospitality focused, but today you're doing something really different, and I'm sure your cancer journey really inspired that as well. But tell us what you're doing today.
So I would say that I have made a full transition out of traditional corporate America, and now I am running two businesses. One, I'm a co-founder of a ketamine-assisted psychotherapy startup that will be focusing on more of a holistic experience.
Yeah.
And I am not a doctor, so I am not administering ketamine. I keep saying that to everybody, but I will be creating the experience of what people feel when they're stepping into this healing space. If there's something I know what you need to heal, and I know how to hold space for people who are entering a healing space, which is also a truly vulnerable space. And then
Absolutely.
I also lead sound baths and meditations for groups. It's something that I would say it's a gift that came to me more than I sought it out.
Mhm.
And it has felt when I'm sitting behind the crystal singing bowls, I think somewhere in that picture over there, when I'm
Yeah.
in front of the crystal singing bowls, I've never felt more aligned with my purpose and
Mm.
my purpose of providing sound as medicine. And then also, again, holding space for people who are there to receive the sound in a healing capacity and for them to trust me to create that journey for them.
Absolutely. I'm learning so much more about sound healing and the power of vibration. So it's just a fascinating, subject for me. I love to see that you've now just dedicated your life and focus to healing, and a lot of that, I would imagine, stemmed from your own personal journey.
Absolutely.
So, your story is so fascinating. There were some nudges in your life that really awakened you in some different ways, and a beach fly and a public speaking class. Tell us about that.
We'll start with the beach fly. So, September 2017, and this is directly for the listener, this is directly related to the cancer journey. But this September 2017, I went to the beach with a group of friends in New York City. This is summer is over. But we had this random, it has not happened again, like
Wow.
95-degree Sunday in the end of September. My friends and I decided to go to the beach, to Rockaway Beach, like this last final hurrah in the sun. I love the sun. The friends I was with were like also like beach loving people. We were like, let's go to the beach. It's going to be sunny. Last one, 90 degrees.
Yes, grab it while you can.
Let's go. And we went, and I'm there, and I get bit consistently by these massive beach flies.
Mm.
And no one else was. And I get home and I've taken a shower and I'm scratching one of the beach fly bumps. I can see the bump and I'm scratching it. And then I felt something under it.
Mm.
And I pushed and I was like, oh yeah, oh, that's from the mosquito. And whatever I feel there, that will go away. And it was so high up on my chest, not like in my breast. It was on the upper part of the breast,
Right.
where there's not a lot of tissue. It's not a place that you feel a lot, even when you're
Yeah.
showering. It's quick. And I didn't feel it. I didn't think to feel it again. And then another day, we'll call it 2 weeks later, I was on the couch and Scott, I'm like, oh, is that still there? Oh, it's still there. And denial number two, it's from working out. Like that's something because oh yeah, I did bench press the other day. So that's from working out. And it'll
Mm.
go because I couldn't wrap my brain around. There was no part of me consciously that was like, this is cancer.
Yeah.
Um, I do think subconsciously there was denial that this is
Sure.
something. Like, and it's so funny when you look at it, you're like, it was like, yeah, that's from working out.
Hmm.
Why would you get a little knot in your chest from working out? Like that's never
It doesn't
happened.
make sense now when you're looking back on it, but in the moment, yeah.
Doesn't even make sense. I was like, that's from working out. And I like to say that my spirit guides were like, what in the world? Like, we knew she was stubborn, but Jesus, this is really taking the cake. What does she need? A presentation?
Hmm.
So October, I'm in a my job paid for personal development type courses, and I signed up for a public speaking um, personal development course in New York City. And you spent the whole day, and everyone in there, we worked on something we were actually presenting. I worked for a sustainable water company at this time. I was presenting my sales pitch.
Yeah.
Everyone's working on something, and then the is two or three groups, and then all the groups come together at the end, and everyone does like 5 minutes of their presentation. A woman got up, and I wish that I knew who she was. I wish I could
Mm.
figure out. I can't even remember this place that I did this public thing to like backtrack on it. Like
Right.
I wish I could. This woman saved my life,
Mm.
and this woman stands up. She gives her presentation. She is an oncologist, and she's presenting on breast cancer. And I touched it. And I was like, oh, that's still there. And I made the appointment right there. I went to one medical group. I signed into my account, made the appointment. And that appointment was, again, a little bit of denial, was for 2 weeks later. It wasn't immediate, but I made the appointment for 2 weeks later with my general doctor.
Yeah.
So that was in that November. And then the appointments from there, she said, we know what it can be. And I was like, well, what else could it be? It's like, women have dense breasts, some women's breasts are lumpy, etc. I went with that feeling. I still didn't feel worried.
Mm.
Like denial is powerful,
Yeah.
so powerful. And it's not to place blame on anybody if you're ever in a place of denial. Denial is a powerful feeling because under the root of denial is massive fear.
Yeah.
And I made that 2 weeks later, I had an appointment December. So this started September, end of September. Now we're at December 6th. And I had my mammogram appointment that my general doctor made at Weill Cornell Breast Cancer Center. And that is the first day that my fear became not buried.
Yeah.
I remember telling my boss, like, hey, we had a meeting in Jersey. It's like, hey, I need to get back to the city for a doctor's appointment at 4 o'clock. I'm like, I can't miss it. And he was like, oh, what's going on? I was like, I don't know yet, but it's
Mm.
a appointment I'm not looking forward to. And he
Yeah.
said, okay. And I went, and when I stepped in there at Weill Cornell Women's Breast Cancer Center, like it's on the wall, I
Mm.
like, oh shit.
Hmm.
I didn't even need the diagnosis at this point. I knew. Like it was
Yeah.
like everything came together and it was every ounce of fear that I had not connected with, that I had put denial on top of, just bubbled up.
Yeah. Just hit you.
It hit
So,
and it hit hard.
how did you react once you got the affirmation of what you anticipated walking in those doors?
Um, well, for that one, it was a mammogram and a sonogram. And on the sonogram, the radiologist came into the room and it's quiet. And I'm a
Mm.
joking person. Like I love a laughter. And it's also, of course, a defense mechanism.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, well, the things look serious if you're in here. And she didn't crack a smile. I'm like,
Mm.
okay. And she's like, can you put on your clothes and meet me in my office? They'll walk you back. I need to show you what I see. And I walk back there and she has everything up on the big computer screen. I would say that they handle these situations with such care,
Mm.
such tenderness.
Yeah.
And she shows me what she sees and she's like, this is what you're feeling. She points to it. And I made another joke. I said, well, it's like, is this cancer? She said, we can't say that yet. You're going to need a biopsy. And it's December. So I said, well, this isn't what I asked Santa for Christmas. And she looked and she said, oh, Shayla. And I was like, oh.
Mm.
And she's like, you need to come in immediately we need to biopsy that. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so it's Wednesday night. I mean, my appointment was at 4. We are at 8 p.m. And I'm like, okay, so like Monday or Tuesday? She's like, no, like Friday. I was like,
Wow.
but but I have to work. And she's like, they'll call you tomorrow with the time. We're gonna have to move things around on our end, but you need to be in here by the end of the week. And in that moment, I knew that nothing I had on my calendar mattered.
Yeah.
And that also made it scary. Like I didn't have the thoughts that life was about to change.
Yeah.
But I did have this feeling like I left there. It was they did not give me a diagnosis. I hadn't had the biopsy, but
Right.
the concerns,
Yeah.
the I'll see you Friday. The soft voices, I was like, oh my God, I have breast cancer. And I left and I was in the 60s somewhere on the east side of Manhattan. And I lived in East Harlem and I just walked. It was December, it was cold, but I couldn't get on the subway. I knew that I wasn't in an
Yeah.
emotional place to get on the subway, and I walked. And I called my dad, I called my aunts first. So I called one aunt first, then a second aunt, then I called my dad, and these conversation was the same. They were happy to hear from me. We're so close. And they're like,
Hmm.
hey, how's your day going? And it's just like I just left the doctor's appointment. I think I have breast cancer. Hello, did you hear me?
Mm.
Yes, honey, I hear you. Oh, what do you mean? And just telling that story.
Yeah.
And what I know now, what Shayla today knows that Shayla then felt
Hmm.
is that I only had two aunts and a dad to call, that I didn't have a mother to call.
Mm.
I was not raised by my mother. I was raised by solely by my dad. Like she opted out. I never knew her from infancy to
Yeah.
adulthood. And I know now, and this was what came from cancer for me, is that that girl Shayla not probably, that girl Shayla had a feeling that she didn't have words for. And that feeling was, wow, this would be the time that I would call a mom.
Yeah.
I didn't have those words then though. But through all the healing and therapy and everything that came after breast cancer, I know that that is the feeling that made me walk home. That, and I think that for me, cancer uncovered something so buried. If I had buried
Mm.
that fear and put breast cancer on denial of a workout, like, I really buried this bigger, bigger, massive thing
Yeah.
that happened in my life as a child. And I think that that was probably the first time ever that something rose to the surface that cancer brought. Like cancer rips the band-aid off of the things.
Mm.
Anything that we have been through in life that we have not dealt with, I believe cancer or any near life death, with anything you've had to face your own mortality, cancer rips the band-aid off. And that's what it ripped off that day. And like that's why it's like, because I could never put a finger on like, why did I walk? Like it was so cold. Like I could have handled my emotions for
Hmm.
a 10-minute train ride, but I couldn't because I didn't know what that emotion was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think was the bigger challenge facing the cancer diagnosis and the treatment, or really coming to terms with the vacuum created by you not having your mom?
Whoa. Well, that's a question.
Sorry to hit you with a heavy one.
Yeah. Ah. Okay. The cancer journey was hard, but you're in a tornado. Like
Mm.
one day life is what it is. Then this one thing happens, we'll call it the diagnosis. We'll make it when you get the phone call.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of steps, the biopsy, all of that, but the phone call, like the actuality. Your life immediately you step into a tornado and you're in the eye of the storm. You're at doctor's appointments, MRIs, blood work, doctor appointment. Your job doesn't matter anymore. You have to work. No,
Yeah.
you need MRI. You need a mastectomy. You need to heal. You need to go to chemo. You need to lose your hair. Then we need you to come to radiation every single day for multiple days. Oh, by the way, you're going to be sick and tired all the time. You're not going to be able to have the life that you typically have. You're in the eye of the storm. And so I don't think most people, and I know I didn't, I think when you're in it, you can't process it. You're just,
Right.
you're moving. You're okay. When's the next appointment? Okay. All right. Okay. And you're telling your friends, you're telling this, you're managing all these things, but you're in the tornado. Then the tornado ends when the cancer journey ends. And I feel like you're left in this, like any tornado kind of tears things up. And so you're
Yeah.
left in the field of all the things. And you're like, what was that?
Mm.
And then for me, that what was that also included what is this feeling I'm feeling that I can't put words to?
Yeah.
What's this feeling I'm feeling? I don't feel like precancer Shayla.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do with it, but I think I should go to therapy for the first time in my life because that feeling, I think if I ignore this feeling that I don't know what it is, that I am going to hate cancer, I'm going to have hated this and I'm going to have resentment towards cancer and then it's going to make me angry and I don't want to be an angry person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question, but
Yeah. I think, you hit on something that we hear a lot from people facing cancer. It's like the emotional part of the journey sometimes doesn't even hit you until the treatment ends because you're in a state of busyness and taskiness, during that treatment. And then when you finally get to that place where it's calmer, that's when the emotions hit. And that's when your support network and the energy around your treatment also dissipates. So it's like the worst time possible for, that surrounding that you have during cancer treatment to go away because that's when the emotions are hitting. Would that be accurate for you too?
yes, and for
Yeah.
me, it's just I didn't know what that emotion was. Like, of course, there was the emotion of like, God, I'm bald. I don't have eyebrows. I tried to learn how to draw eyebrows. let's just say I never tried again. I was just like, okay, so we're not gonna have brows. Hopefully no one notices. That did not work for me. I tried to put on fake eyelashes myself, did not work for me. So there was a lot of my self-love that was lowered. I didn't have the
Mhm.
things myself that I liked. So you're processing that. And I knew those feelings, but it was this other feeling that I didn't know what it was. But I explain it to people. Brene Brown uses the term the sliding door.
Yeah.
So for me, after breast cancer, after treatment, I found current then Shayla found herself at a sliding door. And this door was closed. And but I could feel something on the other side of the door. Like I knew I was supposed to open this door, but I was scared. I didn't know it was on the other
Yeah.
side. But I knew that Shayla looking at that door doesn't feel the same. And I knew the only way to feel the same would be to turn around and say, I am not opening that door, turn around and force pre-cancer Shayla, force it. But instead, I, the universe, the powers to be, I think I was like, if I open this door, I need help.
Yeah.
And they sent my therapist, and she's not my therapist anymore. She's my spiritual mother, but she is maternal and loving. And they sent her, and together we opened the door. Maybe I opened it, and she helped me through it. But I think together we opened it. But she already knew what was behind that door.
Yeah.
Behind that door was the healing journey of never having a mother. And all those feelings that I was feeling that I was like, I don't know what's happening. I can't put words to this. Like, what is this feeling? Like, it's not the hair thing. It's not that. I know what I feel around that. But what is this other feeling? The other feeling was like, what? I wish I had a mother for all of this.
Wow.
I never, that was the feeling. I know those
Yeah.
words today because I went through the healing journey and connecting with it and feeling it. But I didn't know it then.
Yeah.
And so I opened the door and someone, a therapist, walked me down that healing journey that came after cancer.
No, that's a blessing. That is a blessing.
Yeah.
You talked about how you typically are very, you like to joke, you like to lighten the mood. You certainly brought that into your cancer journey as well. Tell us a little bit about Toomey.
I mean, doesn't everyone name their tumor? Um,
I don't think so.
tumor was my Toomey the tumor was my very toxic boyfriend. I named my cancer my because I could feel it. I named it Toomey. Um, I think I think that was my way of dealing
Mhm.
in trying to add lightness. I will be very honest and say I'm not sure all of these things made a lot of sense in that moment, and I absolutely would do it again. But when I look back on them, on like who, with all the growth and the healing I've done, I'm like, oh man, you were really trying not to feel. You were really trying not to feel this
Mhm.
journey. You were giving it all the ways to like, I do not feel like dealing with this. I don't want to feel it. I
Yeah.
don't want to feel this. And so I named Tumor Toomey, and I had a going away party for Toomey. And it is how I told a bigger group of friends,
Yeah.
inviting them via a Facebook post saying, I'm inviting you to a going away party. I'm not moving, but my tumor is. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, blah, 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 blah. I would love to have, I'm having a party um, the weekend before my mastectomy. Would love for you to
Mm.
come and celebrate life. And all these people showed up. It's like 70 people. We were at a restaurant, bar, basement party thing in Lower East Side of Manhattan. And it was special to see so many people show up.
Yeah.
all these people that I told a group of friends one-on-one. It's the holidays, like it was December, so it's like December I got diagnosed, so people are calling for the holidays.
Yeah.
And the questions during those conversations, typically at the end, I would be like, oh, I have some news. It's like, ooh, what? Fell in love? Yeah, no, I have breast cancer. I can still remember the reaction and the look of so many of those groups of friends. But
Yeah.
then this other group, all of these people showing up because Shayla said she had breast cancer and wanted to have a party the weekend before her mastectomy. It was beautiful, and I would think now that it was probably one of the first places where I saw like what feelings were and what
Mm.
community is and what showing
Yeah.
up for people is. It was my cancer journey threw me on a healing journey, but what it also did for me is it started changing my core being.
Mm.
It changed my core being because all the love and the support and people showing up for me, like I'm an extrovert, but people showing up in your hardest moment, like I had never had a value around that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a value around that. And I gained a value around that and I learned how to show up.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's one of those gifts.
It's one of the gifts.
An unexpected gift. Absolutely. So, kind of elaborating on your spirit and, your humor and the way that you handle things. How did you approach treatment? Kind of what was that like?
As I approached that party,
It was a party.
it was a party. Rule number one was anyone who said they wanted to come to a chemo session, the answer was yes.
Oh,
People
that's good.
to my chemo sessions that I was not close with, that I knew from running, that I knew from other aspects of life, but that we had never even had a meal together. Still have never had a meal together.
Wow.
And they said, "Hey, would you mind if I came to your chemo session? Hey, what day is your chemo? Would you mind if I come to one of them? Oh yeah, I have 8 every other week, Wednesday. I can let you know the time." Someone asked, the answer was yes. My very first chemo session I did with just one friend, and I asked my friend Sarah to come with me to chemo. She did. We were very close, and funny enough, my friend from high school, her little brother lived in New York, and he came.
Oh,
And we didn't have that close a relationship, but
yeah.
I think because I went to high school with her, like he was younger and always around.
Mm.
And I think I was in that moment, I learned that I was also on the big sister level. And he asked if he could come. And I was like, yeah. And so he came. So there were like two people. The room was quiet. It was the second hit of reality, I think. The mastectomy, third hit. The diagnosis, the mastectomy, then first day of chemo. It's like the third hit of like reality. The room was quiet. And at the end, I was like, absolutely not. I cannot do 7 more sessions like this. So I started making a playlist of electronic music, like smooth, I visioned making a lounge. Like
Mm.
I live in New York City. There's so many sexy lounges. So I was like, I'm gonna create a lounge. Like there's gonna be a lounge vibe. Whoever wants to come can come. There's always gonna be music playing. So I had the nurses would say, "Your room's so fun. Your room's so fun." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Or I would come to sign in for chemo. They're like, "How many people are coming with you today?" Because this is pre-pandemic. I'm like, I don't know. Like I think 7 people said they would come at some point, or like
Wow.
in my last chemo session, I think there were 15 people. Um, I just I needed that. I needed the conversation in the room. I needed the music. Music is my
Yeah.
love language. I needed that, and I needed to say yes. But what I also needed was to not feel the impact
Mm.
because
So you think it was still a bit of a denial or defense mechanism by distraction, maybe?
Yes, like yes, because once you go home, like shit gets real.
Yeah.
Once I went home, I was alone, I'm single, the scarf is off, the head is bald, you're nauseous, you don't feel good. My dad is calling, how did chemo go today? It went exactly how you assume you think it went. It sucks. Three of the sessions I threw up in chemo, which is like the really vulnerable place to be with your party
Right.
group of friends and your electronic playlist going. And you're like, oh, and like your friends seeing you in this vulnerable place, I think has an impact on everybody. But then you go home and it's just like the mask is off.
Hmm.
I would say the mask is on, but I created a way to be in denial and give myself fun, try to have the best way through it because a lot of it, you're back home and all of that is
Yeah.
off. And
You're
it's
with
like
yourself and your thoughts.
you're with yourself and your thoughts and your bald head and your no eyelashes and nauseous and a stack of pills to take. And things are really real. I needed the chemo session to not feel so real.
Mm. What did this experience teach you or change in you about your perception of community and relationships?
Um, well, it taught me how to be a better friend.
Mm.
And like I said, for me, I think it's cancer, but it's also that healing journey of healing the mother wound and getting in touch with feelings that I had never had. And if you, for me, connecting with this mother wound and realizing that there was a sadness and all those things behind it opened up a space in me. And when that space opened, like new beautiful feelings replaced it. A different joy for life. I already had a joy for life. Like it made everything that was good in my life, it amplified. I had space for amplification of those things. Like life was good, friendships were good. They became more beautiful because I had more space inside of me. This sadness or this blocking of a feeling, when you block a feeling, and for me, that feeling was a little girl who never knew her mother had a sadness and she blocked it. She was like, nope, not gonna feel that. I got my dad, got my life. I'm just a little happy little girl, never gonna feel that. Tuck that away, boom. And then adult Shayla completely forgets that exists. So that's there. And so you have your little box of emotions that you can have. And I had this whole little thing that was buried called sadness because you don't have a mother. When I would heal that part, that space opened and all these other beautiful feelings had more space. Like life and community and friendships became deeper and
Yeah.
like more alive, more beautiful. But so it was like cancer, but it actually took what cancer uncovered for me to bring that extra layer of community and love and friendship and my learning and capacity to be able to do those, be that these new feelings, being able to share them with other people in their time of need.
Yeah. What do you think was harder, the physical treatment and journey of cancer or the emotional journey that you went through?
The emotional journey,
Yeah.
the physical. I mean, like I absolutely, the day that I had to cut the hair sucked. Hated it. I also did a shortcut, then a shorter cut. Neighbor was like, I had a hat on. My neighbors knew I lived in a small building, and my neighbor knew, and he was like, "How's it going?" I put up my hat, and it's just patchy with this. I had already cut it short, and he's like, "It's time." And he took me to his barber. I lived in Harlem, and the barber cut it, and then from there, just stubs just fall out, and you're like literally bald. It's not low haircut. It is the hair follicle is completely empty. Like all of that is hard. It's like physically hard. It is like you're looking at yourself in the mirror. You don't connect with who you're seeing. A breast is gone. It was expander in there. I hadn't had reconstruction yet. Like all of those things are so hard. But the emotional side, oh, it's harder. It's harder because it's more alone. And nobody can do the emotional work but you.
Mm.
You can wear a wig, you can draw eyebrows, someone can help you with your lashes. I went to Sephora one day and said, I am in chemo. Can you help me? Show me how to do the brows. And this woman said, absolutely. And she sat me down and she showed me. I still couldn't do it when I got home, but she showed me with tenderness and love.
Mm.
The Mac store, because I needed multiple lessons. I'm in chemo. I lost my eyebrows. She helped. Still couldn't do it, but I reached out to the people for the things that like help me feel better. But on the emotional side, other than reaching out and talking to my therapist and working through all of the things, the healing from the impact of cancer, the emotions it was bringing up that I had zero words for, all of that it's a lonely journey. It's a hard journey. It's emotional. And yeah, it was the tougher part and it's lonely.
Yeah. You've done so much work to process and heal, both physically and emotionally, and you're a changed person, no doubt. What would you say, and I know this sounds like a crazy question to some, but what would you say the greatest gift of cancer was for you?
Wow. Rising to the surface of the sadness that I never had a mother. Like that, I don't think that there's anything else I could have gone through that would have taken the lid off of something that I
Mm.
needed to heal. I
Mm.
think the only other things would have been impacts to other people, like losing my dad, losing my aunt. Um, at the end of the day, I lost a breast. The hair grew back. The eyebrows, the lashes grew back. The breast is reconstructed. The gift was that. And had I never, had the lid never came off of this buried wound, then I would have stayed Shayla that was living and feeling at a 7. That's fine. That's 70%. That's pretty good. 70% battery, pretty good. But you know what's better than a 70% battery? A 100% battery. And now I live life at this 100% capacity of feeling to be able to feel all of my feelings. I clearly was in denial for a while, couldn't feel the fear, couldn't feel the sadness associated with cancer. Like when I think about that, like how many other things was I not feeling? I would be willing to bet that I wasn't able to be as empathetic in feeling
Mm.
friends hard times. People talked to me a lot. People have always shared with me my entire life, and I have empathy, but I don't think I really felt it.
Yeah.
Now I feel, and I feel when people share things with me. It's what makes me good as a one-on-one healing coach. Like I feel things when people share things with me. I It's more than just empathy. I just have this capacity for feeling more. But also this happens with happiness. Like I feel happiness. Like I look at the clouds, I'm like, wow, the clouds are so pretty today. You guys see that? Like, yeah, Shayla, the clouds are pretty. It's so sunny. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Like sometimes I feel so happy and I don't even there's nothing happening. I feel more. And I had to go through cancer to get here. I had to go through cancer to get my feelings.
Mm.
And
That's good.
what that's a gift.
Yeah, absolutely. For someone listening today who may have just heard those words and is facing the diagnosis, what message of hope would you want to leave with them today?
Well, if you're going through this really hard, life-changing journey, people have already told you you're strong. People already told you you're going to make it through it. People have already told you all of the things. What I want to say is, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that it is okay to feel the uncertainty. It is
Mm.
okay to feel the fear. It is okay to feel every single one, and not with a caveat. Not I'm scared, but I have insurance. I feel so uncertain, but at least I have family. No, I am scared. I feel so uncertain. Allow yourself to feel that feeling and then pick up the phone and call somebody. And it may not be your closest friend, but call somebody and call the person who, when you say, I am scared right now and I feel so uncertain. And this person says, okay. And they hold you and allow you to feel that feeling.
Yeah.
That's where the strength comes from. Feeling the feeling and having someone who can hold space for you to feel the real feeling of it with zero caveats. I'm scared. I am uncertain. Pick up the phone. There's so much strength in that. And there is freedom in being able to sit in this very, very uncomfortable place, in scary and uncertain place. There is strength and there's freedom of being able to be like, yeah, fucking scared.
Yeah. Just being real.
Being real. And pick up the phone. And like I said, it may not be the closest friend. Your closest friend, family member may not be the person who can hold that space without saying, but you're so strong.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else that you've only gone on a run with that can hold that space.
It's good. And if they don't have that person in their life, to reach out, that there are organizations like CanCare who can provide that person for you too, who's been there, who truly understands and who has a heart for listening and a heart for being there to walk that, you know, unimaginable journey with you from a
Yeah,
space of true understanding.
to hold the space and to hold the feelings that are heavy and they're hard. Well, we spend a lot of time not trying to feel these things.
Yeah.
We spend so much time not trying to. We love to feel happy. Feeling fear and scared is they're not fun. They they're scary and they hurt. And being able to have an organization or anybody who can hold that space is
It's
it's special.
precious.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
precious. It's invaluable.
absolutely. Shayla, thank you so much for sharing your story, your message of hope, and your journey with us today. I know that our listeners will get so much out of that, and I thank you so much for your courage and letting us be a little part of your journey.
Thank you for having me on. And if anybody has any questions or wants to connect, I can give my Instagram.
Yeah,
I can do that
please go
now.
ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes.
It's Shayla Martin, and my Instagram is the number 3 Bell Evolution. And the reason it's called 3 Bell Evolution is because when you finish breast cancer or cancer in general, you ring a bell 3 times. And I rang
Yeah.
it 3 times, and it started my own personal evolution. So 3 Bell Evolution. Please reach out. Any questions? I can hold space.
Thank you for that, Shayla. And thank you all for joining us on this very special episode of Hope in the Face of Cancer. If you or someone you love is facing cancer, CanCare is here to support you. Visit us at cancare.org to learn more. Until next time, remember, there is always hope in the face of cancer. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Hope in the Face of Cancer, a survivor by your side. If you or someone you know is facing cancer or is supporting a loved one through their journey, we invite you to share this podcast. Thank you for your support in our efforts in the cancer community. No one should face cancer alone.